my name's Kira, and today I'm going to talk to you about why I believe the death penalty should be abolished and that a convict, or a murderer per se, should sit in prison and have to rot and ultimately suffer by thinking every day about the crime that they have committed. Just giving you a little background on the death penalty. Criminals can be put to death, but death penalty used to include lots of other older things, like stoning and hanging and stuff, but as of today, the death penalty, you can be put to death by execution, lethal injection, the gas chamber, electrocution, and firing squad. However, today, in the actual 34 states that allow the death penalty, lethal injection is the #1 used death penalty, I guess, the method. Although the death penalty has drastically declined over the years since it had begun, in the 1600s actually, it has drastically declined, but there still are 34 states that enforce the death penalty. I have a chart here that shows the states that actually have it. The ones in red are nearing repeal, so you can see Washington is in that bracket. The blue ones are heavy use, very active states with the death penalty, Texas being one of the actual leaders of that. The orange states are in active reform. The green ones are newly post-repeals, and the maroon ones are future opportunities. All of the white ones do not currently have the death penalty, so therefore all of the colored ones include the 34 states that are still using the death penalty. So my reasons for wanting to not use the death penalty are, #1, the cost for life in prison is way less than an execution. According to a website called deathpenaltyprocon.org, with the article of the end of the death penalty, it costs $2 million for an execution. And this includes the counsel for the defense, the appeals, the maximum security in a separate actual row or an actual wing for people that are on death row. Also, the crime rate for having the death penalty shows that there's no credible evidence that a state that actually has the death penalty makes crime any less. Actually, according to facts about the death penalty, one of the articles that I found, the murder rate is actually 6 times greater here in the US than it is in Britain, and 5 times greater than it is in Australia, and both of those countries do not have the death penalty at all. So it's 6 times and 5 times greater. So you can see where it doesn't really, change the crime rate when you do or don't have the death penalty. It's about the same. And there are actually states that have abolished the death penalty, and there are statistics that show that there hasn't been any change at all in an increase or decrease in the amount of criminal activity or really inhumane or heinous crimes. Another issue is the morality of it. I do not believe that the government should be given, federal or state government, should be given the opportunity to make a decision as to whether someone is allowed to live or allowed to die. I don't think that the government already has enough power over us, and I just don't think that that should be something that they should be, something else that they should be able to do. Also, there are a lot of criminals who are wrongly accused, and there have been several cases where they have been executed and then later have been proven to have been innocent. And so therefore, for the sake of that, I think that taking the death penalty away would help a lot as well. Also, there's been a legacy of racial bias and ethnic discrimination, and it's very evident in a lot of the administration and capital punishment in America. and I got that from an article from procon.org also, that it's called The Death Penalty, Is It Immoral? And it showed that actually of all of the people that are being put to death, 50% of those people were African Americans, and so you can see where the racism could become a question. The death penalty also violates the 8th Amendment because it's morally unacceptable to the people of the United States to just be able to choose to take someone's life. So I believe that those are the reasons why. It's been said that whether you are deciding whether or not a punishment is morally acceptable, most courts say that unless a given punishment is a shock to the conscience of the sense of justice of the people, that it's a valid punishment. Well, in those 34 states, my question is, wouldn't you say that the federal or state government getting the right to take someone's life is a little bit of a shock, to say the least, whether they were, they murdered someone or not? I just don't think that the government should be allowed to do these things, and I think that you should also believe that, and I hope that you will vote to abolish the death penalty. Thank you.